AITA for banning my in-laws from seeing my children and threatening my husband with divorce if he doesn't agree? Original post, August 2nd, 2024. My mother-in-law has a total of 10 grandchildren. Mine are her least favorite, and as long as the children were young and didn't understand, it was tolerable, but now they suffer a lot and notice the favoritism, and visiting the in-laws has become an ordeal for my children, especially when the other cousins are there. Now I have decided to eliminate this anxiety from my children and forbid my in-laws to ever be in my children's lives again. Almost everyone on my husband's family, including my husband, are calling me an and many are saying that I am an arrogant and hateful woman, and that's why I never was a favorite of my mother-in-law. But see, this is where I disagree. It doesn't matter if she likes me or not. If I am the arrogant one or she's the selfish bitter cunt, it shouldn't be taken out on the children, and here's an example of the train of thought that made me come to this conclusion. I have a sister and a brother, both married with kids. I hate my brother-in-law because he is an abusive ass, and I love my sister-in-law. I love all my nibblings because they are my family and didn't choose their parents. In other words, my children are her grandchildren and her son's children, no matter who I am. Now she is calling my husband, crying every day about how I am forbidding her from seeing her grandchildren, which is beyond me, because why would she even care when she doesn't like them? Because I finally said something? My other reason is that I don't want my children to resent their cousins for being treated better, because it is both cousins' fault either that adults aren't even pretending to be civil. My husband said that I have no right, and he has the same amount of say to decide who meets his children, so I told him that fine. He could choose us or mommy and we could divorce, and I would make sure his mom to never see our children enforced legally, because what started all of this is one of my sister-in-laws sending me chat logs after chat logs of his mother spewing hatred about my children. Especially my daughter, because she looks like me. AITA. Can I forbid my husband's family to see our children even with him believing we could fix this in a less dramatic way? His mother is very willing to apologize and talk, and she says that she loves our children very much. But for me, that ship has sailed and sunken. My daughter does not want to see anyone from that side of the family. Additional information from OOP, giving an example of her children not being treated equally as their cousins in their father's family. OOP*, my children have never got any real gifts from their grandparents. Not even on their birthdays. When my daughter turned 7, her cousins got bigger gifts. They also always forgot to buy them treats, etc. One time I came late to the party because of work, and my husband was out with his dad after dropping the children off. They were alone without me or my husband for about half an hour, and when I got there, earlier than she expected, she had all the grandchildren sitting on the dining table, and only my children sat there and watched while the rest had cake and chocolate milk. When she saw me, she started talking about how she forgot my children and started rummaging in the freezer for treats. I cried all night thinking about the look on my children's faces. My husband thought I was exaggerating. It was just snacks. I told him he would never understand if he thought it was about the food or the material things. Our marriage deteriorated ever since. Whenever he tried to apologize, I asked him if he understood my exaggeration, or is he just apologizing because I was hurt? He never understood. AITA has no consensus bot, OOP was NTA. Competitive_status 91 *, is this a race thing as well? Are you and your husband the same race or color? OOP*, no. He is white. I am not. 8 marshmallows *, so what has your husband done about this? Has he set down some rules for his mom? Is he upset about what his mom said about his own daughter? Has he told her that talking about his daughter that way is inappropriate? Or does he just want to believe his mom's crocodile tears just to take the path of least resistance? OOP*, he is absolutely not upset about what his mom said, because we shouldn't have read these chats and people are free to express themselves when the chat is supposed to be private. It is only bad if she said this to our children. Except our children aren't dumb. They don't need to read the chat, they know how she feels about them. Mary friendly *, what does your pussy of a husband have to say about all the obvious abuse she lobs at them? He's a failure of a parent if he thinks what she says to them is okay. OOP asterisk the only one he was angry about is a picture she taken of our youngest laying in the grass and you can see their pet's gravestone behind his head and she wrote, "Here lies the youngest son of the bitches like a retarded dog, doesn't he look retarded? Who just falls asleep in this heat?" Celtic Musebooks asterisk can you give some specific examples of how she hates your children? Seems if she hated them she'd welcome you saying she doesn't ever have to see them again. Do be aware that you will have no say in how much contact your in-laws have with the kids while your husband has his visitation time. Unless these chat logs actually include tangible threats of physical harm, the courts will not restrict who you husband and the kids spend time with during his custody time. You and your husband sound like you need to get some marriage counseling to get on the same page or to help navigate co-parenting as divorced parents. OOP asterisk you would think that, wouldn't you? That she would be over the moon that she doesn't have to have them in her life. But my guess is that she enjoys the mistreatment. She loves showing obvious favoritism and see their reaction. Like when she calls them fat or my daughter a giraffe or when she forgets to buy them gifts when everyone else gets one or pushes them out of pictures with her other grandkids. Smelly, dirty, snotty etc. Underscore Lusto asterisk family therapist. Let your husband hear from your children and you with a third party. And maybe you can all figure this out together. Good luck. OOP asterisk I have been thinking about therapy for my daughter because she is 7 and understands very well what's happening, but maybe the whole family is a good idea. OOP on if the family on her side is different than her husband's family. Do they dote on OOP's children asterisk? OOP, I am so sorry. Fortunately for my children, they have 2 doting grandparents, a grandaunt and 1 doting great-grandmother. 2 doting actually I stand no chance when they're around face with hand over mouth. I don't believe in quantity however. I'd rather have my children surrounded by fewer people who love them than many who actually hate them. OOP on her children's ages and if the husband have listened to their children about his parents asterisk. OOP asterisk F7 M5 and M4. The agreement is that we never see his family again. When the children are old enough, they decide if they want their grandparents in their lives or not. Or it will be divorce and I will make sure everyone will see the hundreds of messages she sent about my children. I can't publish the pictures she taken of them to mock them, but I sure can use them in court. And all the evidence of her trying to teach my children to hate me. And all the witnesses who have seen/heard her call my children smelly and disgusting. Or fat or call my daughter ostrich/giraffe. My daughter has tall neck like me which makes her try to bow whenever her grandma is around so she wouldn't be bullied. Plus, making it very clear in my post that my children are hurting should be, and is for the majority that are commenting here, enough to make a judgment. I made it very clear that my children are hurting to a degree that I was worried they would grow up resenting the cousins. I don't need apologies. You fought so hard for a woman who is making small children hurting. Move on, lady. Plus, what does any details matter if the most important one, that my children are hurting now they are older and can sense the mistreatment, is included? Why do details matter if my daughter feels anxiety when she hears that we are visiting that side of the family, which I included in my post? Why do details matter if I wrote that I was worried that our children might grow resentful of their cousins, which I included in my post? Shouldn't explaining how my children are feeling right now be enough? Would I be able to force any adult here, especially the YTA team, to spend time with people who hate them? Why is it okay to force my children? Because they are just kids and can't say no? And NBSP. Update, August 7th, 2024 ***. Hi. So I got what I wanted in the end. My husband was reluctant to hear me out or the children. I told him what's the point of even having a family if you already have a family? What's the point of trying to raise our children to have their own autonomy if we don't listen to them when they say no? He of course called me dramatic. We invited his older brother and wife for dinner. The brother brought up the issue and I was very honest about what I wanted and what the children wanted. The brother laughed it off as me always despising his mother, so I asked him if he read the chats between his wife, his sister, his mom and his other sister-in-law, the one who ratted them out, and he at first denied it. Then he said, "Yeah, I did." I asked him what he would have done if Ho's mother, or mother-in-law wrote these things about his children and he just say, "Ha! She would never even dream of seeing them again. Not even if hell froze over. So I asked, then why my children? He looked at me, then my husband, his brother, then he casually said, because I am a real man, but your husband has always been a pussy. I don't talk in balls and pussies per usual, just retelling what he told me. My husband was silent the whole time. I said, well, I don't have balls, but your mother will never see my children again, not even if hell freezes over. So tell that to your brother, or anyone for that matter. My husband took our daughter out for a dinner and movie, a tradition of theirs, and he probably talked to her about her grandparents. She told him they don't like her and she feels sad about it. She made it very clear she doesn't want to talk to them. She told them she had grandparents, my folks, so that's enough. When he got home he said that we don't need to visit again. We will not accept any gifts from them and that he can visit them alone. I said thank you. Additional information from OOP to clarify the relationships in her husband's family. OOP****, they are 3 brothers and a sister. The rich one is the oldest brother. My husband is third. The one in this update is the oldest brother. The sister-in-law that ratted them out is the youngest son's wife. Sorry for the confusion. Relevant comments. Trailsia***, good for sticking up for your kids. I'd lose quite a bit of respect for hubby though. OOP***, I have, TBH. Hopefully some therapy and I can get over that. Athiesvegan***, I'm sorry to say this, but you've still got a real problem. When you felt disrespected by his family, and when you expressed that your children were hurt by this, he wanted to change nothing. When he felt disrespected, he said it's time to make a change. Your husband is a nutless, selfish man-boy. OOP***, I thought one problem at a time kind of arrangement. He is aware that we have problems but both are willing to work together to solve them before we called it quits.